5 mm è felicissima di incontrare Eddie Redmayne, uno dei più bravi attori, non si può nemmeno dire più inglesi, ma internazionali, che fanno cinema in questo momento. Not only one of the best British actor, but one of the best actor worldwide.
I'm not sure about that, thank you.
I'm quite sure. And first of all, Eddie, first question is, which was your first movie struck? The first time you felt in love with a movie? And I want to know the title, the time of your life, and the location.
Okay, that's really interesting. Well, the true answer to that is it was a Walt Disney version of Robin Hood with foxes, which I fell in love with when I was maybe 5 years old.
Yes,
the animated one, exactly. And then the films growing up that were basically my dad's favourite films. So Chariots of Fire,
yes,
Pretty Woman, and The Magnificent Seven. Those are his favourite films, and those were therefore my favourite films ever.
Wow. And at which age you saw them?
I think I must have been probably from about, I mean, they were playing continuously, like in my life, but I think I was only old enough to sort of understand them probably from about 8 or 9. Probably inappropriate to be watching Pretty Woman age 9, but somehow I was. But
with your dad?
Yeah, he loved he still loves Julia Roberts.
And the first time that you decided, okay, I want to be an actor?
That's interesting. I was in a production of Oliver when I was about 12 years old, which Sam Mendes directed. Now, when I say Sam Mendes directed it, there were about 500 children. I don't think I ever even met Sam Mendes, but I was just like one of the thousands of kids. But the experience of going to the theatre every night in London and playing before a big audience, I mean, I was probably a bit of a show-off, so I just clearly really enjoyed it. And so for me, the way I got into that world was I always did plays at school and at university, and then film was something that came later for me, and it was a world that once I got into it has been like this sort of box of treasures, and that's things that it's been a whole new world and a world that I love. So.
Best actor for you?
Oof. Do you know what? My favourite 2 actors at the moment, French actors, although I think actually one of them is Belgian. One is Romain Doris, and the other is Jérémy Renier. Those I would say.
Renier, Belgian, and Doris French.
Yeah, exactly, and Doris French. But I just think their films recently I've seen are extraordinary. I've got to say, some of the actors I've been lucky enough to work with, I think Kate Blanchett is formidable, Julianne Moore. Ed Norton is always someone I love. He was American History X, I thought was an exceptional film. God, I have quite a list. I could go on.
And in the past, classic
in the past,
actors?
well, De Niro, De Niro gave me my first big sort of film job, and he's someone that working with him was extraordinary.
The Good Shepherd.
The Good Shepherd, yeah. And James Dean. I mean, I watched all of his films a couple of years ago, and I had always assumed that James Dean, because you see the icon of him, a bit like Marilyn Monroe, you see this incredibly good-looking guy, but I was ignorant enough to not realise quite how brilliant he was. And when you watch Giant, that film, and he was 23 years old or something insane, like when he did that. And
unfortunately, the last one.
Absolutely, but he was just an exceptional actor. So I suppose, yeah.
Eddie, you did a lot of period movies, and I wonder, did someone in the past said to you, Eddie, you know, you have not a modern face.
You have a modern face.
I don't know.
I think I have a slightly sort of weird face, so I don't know if they go, well, that's just period, and they sort of place you back in the past. But no, it's interesting because so much of British culture, you know, when it comes to British filmmaking and British television and British theatre, is based in the past, because we have quite a ripe history with great authors and great playwrights, and so a big part of our industry, the British film industry, is period drama. And you know, I went to a posh school and a posh university, and I sort of speak proper, and so that's when you come out, that's the world that you sort of get put into, and and it's a wonderful one because they're extraordinary stories, and I'm very lucky to have been a part of that. But it also does make it interesting. You know, often British actors will then go over to America, or, you know, I've made films in Spain, and, you know, where you have where you can play different characters that aren't period necessarily, you know, telling different stories. So, as I've said before, I kind of love the variety of it, but certainly I've done my fair share of high collars and, you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Can
much.
you say bye to the audience of 35mm?
Absolutely. Goodbye, audience of 35mm. It's been a pleasure hanging with you. Thank you so much.